Welcome, everybody, to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LaBerge Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Christ and TK joining us from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. I'm over here at Barstool Sportsbook inside LaBerge Casino. You can see some of the Barstool Sportsbook. We got a meeting here today. We're getting ready for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame celebrity pairings party, which will be this Sunday night from 6 to 9 p.m. here inside the Barstool Sportsbook at LaBerge Casino. Get your tickets at lasportshall.com. You can join us, all you can eat food and drink. And if you want to play golf as well, we've got the golf tournament on Monday at 10 a.m. Ghouls and Golf. Go check it all out. All the info at lasportshall.com. Still plenty of tickets and spots available to participate in that. TK, today on Sports Shorts Daily, live from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. We're going to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans. They won last night, 113 to 111, when they shouldn't have. They should have lost to the Dallas Mavericks, but they didn't. We'll tell you all about it. Also, the New Orleans Saints find themselves a 2-point dog at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. If you didn't think last week's game was a must-win and you didn't think the week before that was a must-win, this is really a must-win for the New Orleans Saints if they have any hopes of this season. Also, we're going to get into the Major League Baseball World Series starts on Friday. Justin Verlander, is he the greatest postseason pitcher of all time? He's making a case, it seems, every single time he goes out. He is a giant favorite against Wheeler and the Phillies. The Astros are a favorite in that series. And, of course, Verlander with the ball in Game 1 on Friday should be exciting. We'll tell you some stats about Verlander that are just mind-blowing. Let's bring in Tommy right now. TK, I know you're not a big NBA fan, but the Pelicans are going to make you one this year.
I think they will. I mean, this team's loaded at 8 guys in double digits scoring points last night, and you were missing Ingram, you were missing Williamson, missing Jones. I mean, they're 3-1 now, with 2 wins on the road to open the season. They're going to make some noise. I think we're going to have to pay attention to them, Ronnie. They're a good team. They're getting the crowds out to the Smoothie King Center, and the people in New Orleans are excited. And it could be a little bit because the Saints are blah. I don't know. Sports fans are sports fans, but we'll see how that goes. But we got to pay attention to the Pelicans. They're really good. Willie Green's a good coach. He showed us that last year.
Listen, it was super impressive last night, right? The Dallas Mavericks like to think of themselves as a contender in the West. Obviously, they have one of the, if not the best player in the league, one of the best players in the league in Doncic, and he had his 38 or 40 or whatever he had. But the bottom line is that they won a game they shouldn't have at home. They had 8 players in double digits, many of which you never heard of. And, you had 5 players out, 3 starters. I mean, you win those games against a good team, that tells me that you're maybe even a better squad than what we thought. And there's just such a positive vibe around this franchise, this program. Now, I'll say this. Ingram was out with a concussion. We don't know what his status will be beyond, concussions are like hamstrings. They can be, a 3-day thing. They can be a 3-week thing. It just depends on how it goes. But with Zion, you got a situation where, the big fella falls on basically his ass and bangs his lower back and butt. And, we talked about this in the past. I mean, this is just going to be a continuing problem for him, Tommy. I mean, no matter what the situation is, this guy is going to continue to he's never going to play 82 games, right? I guess we got what's the expectation? Like, can he play 62 games? But, I mean, the big fella just has a lot of weight. Even though he's lost a lot of weight, he's still big and heavy. The way he plays is violent. The way he plays is going to draw a lot of contact. And, thank God it's not a knee. But, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable to think here we are, 3rd game of the year, and already he's missing time, falling on the floor.
Quick message for you, Ronnie. I know you can't see him. Poppy Girl and Mimi are watching Uncle Ronnie from Dallas. So wanted to share that with you. And then, of course, Chance says they stole a win last night. But you're right. Zion, he's got to be on the floor to help the team. Now, they won last night without him. But that, like you said, they got to build the expectations. Can you play 62 games a year? Or, there's all these times when they – coach's decision just to rest a guy, they just got to work through that. And Willie Green's going to have to figure it out. But they need that guy on the floor.
Let me give a shout out to Poppy Girl, 7 months old. Tommy, our youngest Sports Shorts Daily viewer of all time, watching with my mom Janet over in Dallas visiting my sister. So shout out to Poppy Girl. We're training them young in the Rance family and the Van Lair family.
Well, my granddaughter's not 4 months yet, but shout out, she hadn't watched yet, so I got to get that done. I got to call old Brett and say, Brett, put Blair in here when she's watching.
Yeah, you got to get 3. You got 3 months to make it happen to hold the title. The thing that I continue to love about the Pelicans, and I watched a lot of the game last night. They had a big lead after the first quarter. They were up to 16-point lead. Then they only led by 2 at halftime. And you thought, okay, here we go. This is where the attrition is going to show. This is where not having 3 starters. This is a good Dallas team with one of the best players in the world. This is, they're gonna come back, and they did. They came back and took the lead early in the third quarter, but the Pelicans answered, and obviously, playing at home helps. But the camaraderie of this team and the players the roles on a basketball team or any team in that matter, but particularly in basketball, you need players that are willing to accept their roles, accept their minutes, accept what the expectation is that when they do play, what their role, and not try to do too much. Stay within yourself, and that's what the Pelicans do so well. Their bench players know, it's like they come off like a house on fire. They don't try to, just because they got the ball in their hands, shoot it. They all play within their roles. They play team basketball. They seem like they genuinely like each other, Tommy, and how they've turned Zion around from a guy who was training in California by himself to now he's all in and signed the extension and likes his teammates. It's just a great kumbaya feeling, and it couldn't have come at a better time, because you're right. The New Orleans Saints are headed in probably a couple years of dark times while they get the salary cap straight, fight through some bad signings and some veteran players, and figure it out. Pelicans are going to be probably the bright spot over there on Airline Highway.
Well, and as I mentioned, Ronnie, you had 8 guys in double digits last night. You can count on one hand how many times that happens in a month, maybe 2 months in the NBA. I'm going to have to pay attention to that. But, that's team basketball. That's what wins. And then you beat, Mavericks who think they're better. They think they're better than they really are. But a couple of comments. You had a playoff bound. Jamie Fortenberry says they're looking pretty strong. Chance points out they did it without Ingram and Herb Jones. And, so we got a lot of attention for the Pelicans, and rightfully so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and the good thing is that I think everybody agrees the Pelicans are a playoff team. Now it's been finished in that top part in the West, where they're hosting a playoff game, getting a bye, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's talk a little NFL for a minute. The Saints. I mean, I've been feeling, Tommy, like it was a must-win the last 2 weeks. And I think had they been in any other division, had they been playing in the NFC East, for example, the season would basically be over, barring some ridiculous, run where you win 7 in a row or something like that. But because they're in the trash NFC South this year, you're still in there, believe it or not. And Dennis Allen is saying all the right things. He's saying, hey, we're not far from having a run in us, where we can go win 4 or 5 in a row. Do you believe this team has that capability?
I think they have the capability. Maybe win 3 out of 4 might be a better goal than win 4 or 5 in a row. But the NFL, any given Sunday, just when you think what's going to happen, you're going to find out that you don't. I mean, we experience that at meatandpotatoesusa.com every day. But, it's going to be interesting to follow, and you make a great point. If they're not in the NFC South, people aren't even talking about them. But the reality is they're 1 game out of first place in their division. If they win that division, it doesn't matter what their record is, they'll be in the playoffs.
Did you see, Tommy, where Matt Ryan, the former Falcons quarterback, who's going to be in their Ring of Honor, a borderline NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, lost his job with the Indianapolis Colts? They're moving on from him. I texted with Todd McClure, his former teammate and center, with the Falcons. I said, do you think he'll retire like now during the season, now that he knows that he's basically the backup the rest of the year no matter what? Or do you think he'll stick it out and just at least finish the year before he before he really retires? And Todd expects him to finish it out. He says he's a pro, he's a team guy. He thinks he'll probably stick around the whole year and all that. But this isn't really surprising. Look, who am I to tell somebody when they should retire, Tommy? And I get it. I have no problem with guys playing, like I think, for as long as my advice is play until they take the jersey off your back. What else are you going to do in life that's, one, going to make you that same amount of money, and two, bring you the joy and the juice and everything that you get from playing professional sports? But this is an example of a situation where maybe Matt Ryan's doing more harm than good for his long-term reputation, for his long-term campaign to try to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame by hanging on maybe a year too long.
Yeah, Father Time's undefeated, and his skill set is not what it once was. I'm like you. You play till they take the jersey off your back. They don't let you in the locker room anymore. That's when you quit. And the old saying, one play away from being back out on the field if something were to happen to you get an injury. And we don't want nobody to get hurt, but that's reality. So I would tend to agree with Todd McClure, and Todd would know better than, because he's friends with the guy, that he's going to stick it out, and then maybe he sits back after the season and decides whether or not to retire.
Sam Ehlinger, the former Texas quarterback, is who now the Colts are turning the football over to, and they said he's going to be the starter the rest of the year. So they're going to kind of see what they have in Sam Ehlinger. And I'll say this about him. I watched him in college, had an up-and-down career at Texas, had some really high moments like winning, beating Georgia and winning the Sugar Bowl, I think in his junior year, but then was going into a senior, high expectations in Texas. They're going to find out if they've got their future at quarterback. They're going to bench Matt Ryan the rest of the way. I want to get your take on the McCaffrey trade. The Carolina Panthers trade Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers last week. The 49ers got trounced by the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, it was close for about 3 quarters, and then that was it. What did you think of the decision by Carolina to trade him and the fit with McCaffrey and San Fran?
Well, and real quick, Byron Payne points out Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl after being benched. You never know. Okay, so anyway, a little comment from Byron. I wasn't surprised. I mean, Carolina, they got rid of the coach rule, and other things have been happening there. They're kind of in disarray right now. 49ers need a running back. If they can get a running back to go with the receiver that they got, I mean, they could get dangerous in a hurry. No big reaction to it, other than that the Saints don't have to play against McCaffrey anymore on a regular basis. So we'll have to see how that works out for both teams.
I'm definitely happy for the Saints that Christian McCaffrey's not in Carolina. No
yeah,
question
you don't
about
have
it. A good amount, second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth in 2024 to get Christian McCaffrey. I think this is a situation where you probably overpaid just a touch, but not too much. I think maybe one pick too many. But you get a guy who's excited to go back home. He's from the Bay Area, played in the college there. Over there, the fan. This is gonna add that franchise. This is now a franchise guy. Your faces of the team, faces of your franchise from years to come. You're going to be able to sell some tickets, market them. Good fit for them over there. For the Carolina Panthers, this is a total reboot. To get rid of him at this point, you fired your coach. I mean, the Panthers are going to, try to just pile up draft picks for whoever their new coach is going to be. So much like maybe the New Orleans Saints, the division is going through growing pains, because I would imagine, Tommy, that when Tom Brady is done after this year, and a lot of these guys that were on these 1- and 2-year contracts because Brady was there, they're going to go elsewhere. So you're going to see the Bucs with a rebuild. You're going to have the Panthers with a rebuild. Probably the Saints are going to be somewhat of a rebuild. And Atlanta is still trying to figure it out. So this division is going to be like the NFC least a few years ago, where it's going to take probably 2 years before they can come out the back end looking pretty good. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball. What's your takeaway on the World Series that starts on Friday?
I got the Astros in 5. So that's what I think is going to happen. They're just too good top to bottom, pitching, bullpen, the hitting, and they got different guys that come up with the big hit. But the Phillies are hot. They're the hottest team in baseball. They won like 20 games less than the Astros in the regular season approximately. But, when you got Harper, I think a key is Nick Castellanos. You know, he hasn't been great in the playoffs, but he's a super player. If he can get hot, pitch over and under tonight, Friday night, 6.5. They're not expecting a lot of runs, okay? And then the other big thing, we talked about this on Hold the Rope last night, Houston, the playing weather conditions will be perfect because the roof will be closed. Go to Philadelphia, it could be cold, it could be drizzling, and game 3, 4, and if necessary, 5 will be back in Philly next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Friday, Saturday in Houston. It's going to be exciting. It's the World Series. I'm going to watch every pitch that I can.
Are we going with is Nola pitching game 2?
It's not posted that he's pitching, but I got to believe he is. He would throw game 2, and then game 6 he would throw. If they play game 6 next Friday back in Houston, I would think he throws in that one.
I know our boy Wally Poniff and some folks are headed up, going to the World Series on Monday. They're going to go to Philly for the World Series. Listen, Nola versus Bregman. Look, I'm pulling for Nola. Bregman already got one. I'd love to see Austin Nola get one. I got some good friends that are big time Philly. I'm sorry, Aaron Nola. I used to do that all the time, even on the broadcast.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, Austin, of course.
You're not the only one. I've heard many people
call him A Nola. That way I'm good either way. But no, but I mean, Aaron, I'd like to see him get one. It's, obviously Breg's already got a World Series ring, and Aaron, this would be very, 2 months ago you'd have never saw coming that the Phillies would be in the World Series, not to mention having in the World Series. And you get a little value, right? You pointed out during the week, plus 350, on your money if you take the Phillies.
It's like plus 325 now, and Houston's down to like minus 160 to win it. It was 175. So money's flying in. You can look at the consensus if you know where to look, and some money's been coming in on Philly.
Yeah, I mean, and oh, by the way, Aaron Nola, wrote a little check to LSU, Tiger Athletic Foundation, LSU baseball a few years back. It's the Aaron Nola Pitching Lab. When you go inside the indoor practice facility, it's named after him. Wrote a 6-figure check to LSU, and so since he did that, I'm team Aaron Nola. Still waiting on that check from Breggy. We'll figure it out one day. But,
and by the way, LSU baseball fall scrimmage Friday 5 o'clock, Saturday 1 o'clock, Sunday 11 o'clock. You can get in for free at the box. Go sit right behind home plate. They'll be doing some inter squad games. Now they play McNeese next week at home. Then I think they go to Lafayette to play the Raging Cajuns.
What are the times again, Tommy?
5 o'clock Friday, 1 o'clock Saturday, 11 a.m. Sunday.
All right.
Of course, basketball is getting ready. I think Kim Mulkey, they have an exhibition tomorrow night, I believe, and their season's starting soon. Mac McMahon, he was on the Jordy Collada show the other day. He's getting ready for the season, so about to be a busy time at LSU.
Yeah, might run over there after Sports Shorts Radio Saturday morning. We're going to be doing it 10 to 12 from Plaquemine. I'm
going to go because I might have my grandsons coming to that game because Grayson plays at Traction later that day. So I'm trying to get son-in-law to bring them up, and we'll go to the game.
All right, so Saturday, 1 p.m., we'll go check out the LSU scrimmage and take for you on Monday on Sports Shorts Daily. The little bit I've seen this fall, it's unbelievably impressive. Looking forward to seeing how they fare against other teams. But, this lineup 1 through 7 for LSU baseball is arguably as good of a 1 through 7 lineup LSU's ever had. I mean, obviously we got to see what they do. And look, I'm going to throw out 1996 to 1999 when they used the -5 bat. Those numbers are RBI baseball Nintendo numbers. The bats are completely different. It's not apples and oranges. So you can't take 1996 to 1999 and have any sort of comparison whatsoever with the bats they have now. So take out that. And this lineup 1 through 7 on paper going into the year is arguably the best we've ever seen, because I think, in my opinion, Tommy, you've got as many as 5 major leaguers potentially on that top 7 lineup. And not many LSU lineups have had 5 major leaguers in it over the course of a season. So, and when they won national championships. So that part I'm looking forward to. I don't think the hitting is going to be I want to see who's going to get the ball, who's going to be top 7 or 8 on the bump. To me, that's what I'm most interested in.
I'm very curious about LSU baseball. Jay Johnson obviously put together a heck of a recruiting class and the transfer portal. Wes Johnson, a major league pitching coach, left the Twins. Now he's coaching LSU pitchers. The rest of the staff's outstanding. So I'm very optimistic and excited about LSU baseball. And I'm going to get to the scrimmage Saturday, and maybe I might go back out there Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Reminder for you, LSU baseball fans, sports fans, this coming Sunday night here inside the Barstool Sportsbook, Barstool Sports Grill here at L'Auberge Casino. We've got the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame event. Benefits tickets are only $50. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. We're going to have raffles and all sorts of great things. Get a chance to rub elbows and shoulders with all these great Hall of Famers. That's going to be this Sunday night, 6 to 9, here at the Barstool Sportsbook inside L'Auberge Casino. It all benefits Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation, and it's part of our golf tournament, which starts 10 a.m. on Monday. And if you want to be in that individual golfer team, you name it, you can. It's at lasportshall.com, lasportshall.com. Check it out. The tournament's at University Club Golf Course in Baton Rouge. Tommy and I'll be back on Friday. Tell us what's going on at Tremonti's before we get out of here.
Lunch special today is lasagna. I got some big catering order going out the door. They can cater your office group, big, small, it doesn't matter. Deer processing for all you hunters out there. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. So you need to check out Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Hit them up on Facebook and Instagram. They're always putting stuff out there about specials and, of course, the wine selection behind me, the liquor and the beer. They got a lot of stuff at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. If you've not been in here, take time to stop by. Once you walk in here and see how much stuff they got, you'll come back.
All right, he's Tommy. I'm Ronnie. We'll be back on Friday morning for more Sports Shorts Daily, presented by L'Auberge Casino, where the new Barstool Sportsbook is open. The kiosks are open 24 hours a day, and the Barstool Sportsbook every day, including the brand new restaurant with great new items. Come check it out. We'll be back on Friday. Until then, have a great one, everybody.
Please like and share this video. That helps a lot. Like and share the video. All right, Ronnie, take care.
Thank you, TK.